Hi, my name is Tomi Adisa, and today I'll be sharing with you how I got my husband to propose to me. So, I have been married to my darling husband, Obafemi Adisa, for 10 years. We celebrated our 10th year wedding anniversary on the 11th of January 2024. We are blessed with four lovely children, two set of twins. I love to refer to them as the Fantastic Four. But one of my children recently told me not to call them the Fantastic Four anymore. I should call them the Godly Four. So, name updates. The Godly Four. So, how did I get my husband to propose to me? Where do I start from? Let me start from how we met. Or do I start from. So, let's just start the gist itself. So, I was working at Dove Television at the time. And, around this time, I had been trusting God for a life partner. Now, I'm not one of the ladies who would say that, I was not looking for a man. I was just busy with the Lord's work. I was not thinking about marriage. Scratch that. I was thinking about marriage 24/7. Like, hey, I wanted to get married at age 22. That was my dream and my desire. But I got married at 28. So I was looking forward to marriage. If I meet a guy, I'm checking him out already, I'm evaluating him. Is he a believer? Is this the kind of person I can be with? Like, I never asked the guy out. I'll never push myself on a guy, but I was on the lookout for the man that God had for me. And this was because, apart from the fact that I love marriage, I love love. I've always wanted to be married, have children. I just love a home. Apart from that, I put myself under a lot of pressure. That's because at that time, now, yes, singles still undergo a lot of pressure, but at that time it was worse. It was worse because marriage was much more of a big deal than it is now. Like, it was one of the yardstick for measuring a woman's success. It was one of the yardsticks for measuring how much a person is blessed. Like, oh, this is how we know that you are favored by God. So I wanted to prove to everyone that I was favored by God, that I was blessed by God. I've been serving God diligently since I gave my life to Christ. I was very fervent when I was on campus, So we left campus, went to law school. From law school, we're already hearing about engagements, wedding dates. And by the time we left law school, my colleagues and even some of my juniors were already sending me wedding invites. I remember a particular phone call. A friend called me and said, "Guess what? I'm getting married and I want you to be on the bridal train." And I was excited for her. I was happy for her. And while we were talking, she said, "I've always known that I would marry on time. I've always known that, my marriage would not be a thing of a delay," because she was not even done with service, or she had just finished service. I can't remember. And I was excited for her sincerely, but that statement, it stayed with me, made me feel bad. I felt like, you see, these are people that we prayed together, we were on campus together, we served God together. And God, why are you doing this to me? I'm not yet married. So I was in that zone. But God got me out of that pressure before He even settled me maritally, before I met my husband. But that's a gist I want to talk about on another day. So I was now in a place where I was calm, where I'd put my trust in God. I was no longer bothered about marriage, but I was expectant. I was bothered before. There's a difference. There's nothing wrong with being expectant, desiring something, but everything is wrong with being desperate and bothered about it. There's nothing else that makes you happy. You're worried. You're counting the days, the weeks, the months, and the years. I was in this camp place. I was anchoring a show at Dove Television at that time. Dove Television is the official TV station for the Redeemed Christian Church of God. And I was anchoring a youth show at the time, Our World. So my producer had called me and said, "There's this young guy, he's coming, he's fantastic. He graduated from Redeemers University, he sings, da 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 da. And he's going to come and talk about a certain topic." I can't remember the topic. So I was ready to meet the person. I didn't have much expectation because now, like I said, I was gentle. I was now calm. So when he came, I checked him out because he was a young guy. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, no, it's not my spec. Like, physically, first glance. And you need to see my husband's, you need to see our wedding picture. I've done a lot of work. I have tried. I have labored over this man. So I was like, it's not my spec. And I got him ready for the show, told him what to expect and all the rest. Then we got on set and we started talking, and I realized that he has a brilliant, intelligent, extraordinary mind. Like I fell in love with that mind immediately. There's something about me. I love intelligent conversations. I like to sit in rooms where intelligent conversations are going on. So I mean, it was just talking. I was vibing with him a lot. It was not like all the other guests that I interviewed. Yes, I interviewed other guests who made sense, who were intelligent, but he was on another level. So we became friends immediately. I mean, the conversation continued after the show had ended. There was a drama, the stage drama that was going on somewhere on Redemption Camp at that time. Because at that time, the Redeemers University was still on camp, and I was working on Redemption Camp and living on Redemption Camp. So we started to stroll there, and then we got talking. We exchanged numbers, and I was trying to, so we exchanged numbers and kept in touch. I was trying to learn how to drive at that time. There were no driving schools on camp at that time. So I don't know, somehow during one of our conversations, I mentioned it to him. And I said, you know what, I want to learn how to drive. And he had one car at that time. That car showed me shaking. If you see me chilling inside our cars now, please don't envy me, because I have pushed cars. I pushed cars I pushed my husband's car under the sun and under the rain. Glory be to God. So I had a car at that time, and I was like, okay, so I was like, okay, you know what? After work, I'll come pick you up and then I'll teach you how to drive. So, because we enjoyed each other's company, it will teach me how to drive, then we'll go park somewhere, we'll get suya. Suya is barbecue for those who were not familiar with that term. And we'll talk. We can finish the driving lessons at 7:30. We will talk till 9:30, 10. It became a pattern. Gradually, Sister Tomi fell in love. Like, I couldn't, it felt odd not to see him in a day. And it felt the same way too. And we had a great time together. Although he did something funny one day. One time he wanted to go to the cinemas with his friends, and he called me if I wanted to go to. I said, yes, let's go to the cinemas. And then we got to the cinemas. I sat beside him. We all got our popcorn, drink, and everything. And at some point, I think he tried to feed me. Did you try to feed me? You asked me to feed you. I can't remember, but he did something silly. I was like, Shelly, what's wrong with this one? Like, you haven't asked me out. There's nothing between us. We're just getting to know each other at that time. I was really upset. I was like, who does this to a lady? So he had done that, and you immediately put him in his place. So we kept hanging out, and then one day I realized that, wait, you're loving this boy. A day cannot pass without you seeing him. You guys plan your day together, you hang out, you're becoming an item, and there's no definition. I've seen over the years how people end up in relationships without a formal, what is it called now? Without a formal definition. And somewhere along the line, the guy says, did I even ask you out? And that's how the whole thing ends. So I woke up one day and said, you know what? This has to come to an end. So we hung out as usual, went for our driving lessons, and afterwards, somewhere I just said to him, I'm sorry, I'm no longer interested in the driving lesson. I can't continue. I don't know what's happening between us, but I know that I have to check myself. And so I went home that night and I cried. It was not funny. I cried. And I just told myself, and why did I do that? It's easy, yes, to allow someone hang around you when you're lonely, especially when it's someone that you're vibing with and you feel like there may be a future, but it has not communicated his intentions. It's easy for you to stay and keep hoping, but it's very risky, because that's like a 50-50. What if he never says anything? And then I don't want that foundation for my marriage. I don't want to, just somehow end up in a relationship and then somehow end up in marriage. I'm too princessy for someone not to ask me out properly. So even though I wanted that company, I wanted that relationship, I had to break it off, and then continued with my routine. I readjusted my routine. But a few days after, my husband, he was not normal again. He couldn't cope. Like the light in his life had gone out. The angel in his life was no longer there. So he came and he said that, I actually beat him to it, that he was going to talk to me about it. He was just waiting for the right time. He wanted a perfect atmosphere. But now that I'd initiated the conversation, not initiated, but now that I cut things off, and he really wanted me to be a part of his life, he asked me out properly. Of course, I said yes. So that's how I got my husband to propose to me. And what's the lesson from this? I see this every day. No, I don't see this every day. I see this often. I see a lot of people stay in relationships that do not have any definition. And what that does to a man is it makes it easy for him to walk away, because when there's no definition, there's no accountability. When there's no definition, there's no accountability. If a man never comes to express his intentions, to say, I want you, and I want you for myself, and I want you for the rest of my life. I want you to be a part of my life today and tomorrow. I want you to be the mother of my children. I want to build a world, a life with you. You're just there. He can wake up one day and decide to just disappear. He can wake up one day and decide to marry another woman, because he never at any point said, you are the woman. And that's something that we need to readdress. You hear people say that if you ask them, are you in a relationship? Oh no, we're in a situationship. Friends with benefits. I mean, these kind of things are very, very dangerous and very ungodly. Where there is definition, always remember that there is accountability. You have peace of mind. Does not mean that the man cannot change his mind, but it means that even if he decides to change his mind, you can hold him accountable. And the moment he defines the relationship, you can expose that relationship to all the people that matter in your life, to the people that you're accountable to, and to the people that he is also accountable to. So I hope that this has blessed you. I know that this has blessed you. If it has, kindly like this video, share, and subscribe. God bless you.